we're going to have to pull our own out. If you're not physically fit, you can't do it. And then you'll last longer on the air bottle if you're in better shape.
Do they test you regularly?
They just test you when you initially come on, and then that's it. And then every year we have a physical, which is a certain amount of things. But this RIC training we're doing is testing the guys because they're having to get the gear on and do that. But we try to stay in shape, and the guys have access to working out.
And there's a lot of our guys in our department that are pretty conscientious as far as exercise and health is concerned. And one of our organizations within our department provides free membership to Maximus, so they can go and kind of work out and kind of help. Yeah, so that does make a difference, especially the older people.
And there's programs provided by the city that they also have. The wellness center has access to us. We have access to it and a personal trainer.
Did you have to wear this stuff in hot weather?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
moly.
why, once you stick this stuff on, I mean, instantly, you start sweating, you get hot. That's why I said being in some kind of shape does make a difference as far as, and you haven't even done anything yet. It's been on a year.
And putting it on, getting acclimated to it during this time of year and start getting closer to the heat. But then it works the reverse during the cold. When you get wet, you take it off, and everything freezes.
In summer, you could get dehydrated.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because every year we try to have heat emergency training before summer. As a matter of fact, hopefully we'll have it next month. We have heat emergency training to let the guys know of the effects and stuff. We have it every year just as a reminder, and then before winter we have cold emergencies to try to give the guys a heads up.
One of these things for you kids, especially with James dressed up like this, if you ever get a situation at your house and you have a fire, and you see a gentleman, somebody like this come to you, just remember they're there to help you.
Is that my air pack?
Yeah.
No, there's no air in it. Oh. I thought that was your air pack. That's a training bottle. We just use it for training when it gets beat around and I don't want to have pressurized cylinder.
And you have somebody passed out to work on it.
Yeah.
When you have all of that on and you're in an actual fire, like a house fire, for example, how do you communicate with each other?
Sometimes it's a little difficult because there's so much going on,
Yeah, you guys always work together, so they kind of know what each other's going to do.
We're always in pairs. I mean, we've been together for a few years now, and it's kind of nice because when you kind of know how the other person operates and what to expect out of them, it kind of takes a lot of the guesswork out of the game. So
we're always, as we go into a fire, you can see his knees have the extra padding on there. We always go in on our hands and knees, and typically we're touching one another. As we're going in, we've either got a leg or an arm against the other person, because typically in a fire it's totally dark, can't see anything. So we always stay in contact.
Real important is now that we've got more radios, so we're trying to get to the point where everybody can have a portable radio. So if you go in the house, we always go in pairs, and if something happens, we get separated, someone falls through a hole. At least everybody has radio communication capability to get in contact with the rescue teams outside, so if they need to, they can come in and assist in finding them.
If say you had a candle burning and you knocked your candle over into a trash can that had papers in it, that fire within about 4 minutes could be up to about 1,000 degrees and fully engulfed in flames. So that's good.
That's good, thank you. And we teach the guys how to shut them off, and we always get the rookies. We have them hanging down, which would be appended. The water flows, we pump it up pretty high pressure, and they have to go up there and plug it, climb up ladders. It's about as high as that light there, and they have to go, and they always get soaked, and that's one of the big things on the rookies. And then we just teach them techniques of how to plug it. Then we teach them the differences, like as you see, this one's flat, whereas this one has this here, this lip, because this one hangs down this way, so the water hits it, splashes out, where this one will have to come up this way, come up that way. And it passes around. Because, I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but there's an engine, there's an aerial, and there's a truck. The truck actually carries a lot of the extrication equipment, forcible entry equipment, where the engine carries the water and the hose. And the aerial apparatus is the ladder, or it could have a bucket on it, a flat. There's actually pads here, so when they come down, they can do the training right here on the floor. So, because we want to actually do it like it's going to be in reality. We don't want them, you know, up on a table and, you know, because that's not going to be reality. So we want to make sure they do proper technique in the proper way in the situation. And sometimes we'll put them like in restrooms or, you know, up a stairwell or in an elevator to try to give them a little more challenge. The guys are really good. They never have any problem with it. They're lighter, but then they're bigger now, so there's more air now, so it basically ends up being the same, just a trade-off. But then that means the guys have to work in there longer.
They're 25 pounds, I've weighed them, and 25 pounds.
It's totally encapsulated just like that, except it's airtight, because that's the worst thing. The vapors can hurt you. Level B is the highest for splash protection. Both of them are the highest respiratory protection. One is vapor protection, and one is splash protection. And then when they're done, they start gearing down, or they like to gear down, which I don't blame them, because it's hot and it's heavy and start running out of air. We have to monitor the atmosphere, and we have this hydrogen cyanide meter, along with LEL, which is an explosive meter, and an oxygen meter, and a carbon monoxide meter. We try to monitor the atmosphere to make sure it's safe for them to take the gear off.